Averages out here know what I'm saying. You know you had that bitch, and then she acted a fool, you had to get rid of her. You're proud. No, most of you dorks don't understand this. But for the very few select G's out there, you're proud. So because she acted a fool, you're like, no, fuck you. She's trying to come back, you're like, no, fuck you. I'd rather lose you and stay a gangster. Most of you thirsty motherfuckers never done that. Men like me do that all the time. So I'd rather be etched in her brain for eternity as the man who dumped her than go, okay, it's fine, love you. Trolls.
But I dumped a girl. She was bad for me. Every time I brought this girl out, she was flirting with all my friends. Every time. She was just flirting. And I told her, I'm like, I don't think you should be flirting with my friends. It's weird. And she's like, oh, I'm just joking. You don't need to worry about it because they're just jokes. But then she fucked one of my friends. And I'm like, I don't think you know how jokes work. You're not supposed to do the thing you're joking about. She did all the excuses in the book. She's like, oh, I have PTSD. My PTSD makes me do crazy things sometimes, but that actually kind of makes sense, because now that I think about it, this was a lot like the time my uncle came back from Iraq and fucked all my friends.
Do you actually get an opportunity? Would it be a good idea for you to be steady? Would it be a good idea for you to continue to seek after her, or has she completely lost interest? In this video, we will discuss the signs that now is the right time to continue on and leave. Number 1 sign is the point at which you are in personal sand trap. It is the point at which you get completely fixated on the lady. She is the main thing you can contemplate. She's all you need to converse with your companions about. You're gazing at your telephone for hours daily. All you can cracking ponder is her. It's influencing each and every piece of your life. You're simply lying in bed thinking about the thing to do. You're replaying each discussion you had, attempting to sort out what you fouled up. For what reason is it not working? You're sinking, and the issue is the point at which you're sinking. Your feelings have totally dominated, and they never settle on the ideal choices for you. At the point when you're in this express, it's exceedingly difficult to get a young lady back. Everything you can manage is make a stride back. Your feelings resemble a weak person murmuring counsel in your ear. Text her once more. You never go with the ideal choice. You never make the best choice when you are taken over by your feelings. When you're a personal sand trap, regardless of whether she consents to get together with you, you will wreck it. You want to make a stride back. That implies right now you got to clean yourself off. You got to recompose yourself. You got to put your consideration somewhere else, so that when you really do collaborate with her once more, you're thinking with the unmistakable head. One of the signs that now is the ideal time to continue on is the point at which you're spending time with her. Then you go to contact her, and she pulls back like you're her frightening uncle taking action on her. It's somewhat not the same with men. On the off chance that we find a lady alluring, there's not much she can accomplish for us to then become rebuffed by her. The next sign that you ought to move away and continue on is the point at which she affronts you. At the point when a lady loses regard for you, she turns out to be nearly repelled by you. It resembles in betting. There's an idea of pursuing the misfortune. While you're winning in betting, it feels great, you got a ton of synthetics that are causing you to feel better. Then you begin losing, and despite the fact that you sensibly realize you ought to leave the table, you simply continue betting in light of the fact that you're attempting frantically to get that nice sentiment back. A ton of times folks are so thumped by her, and they simply need her back to help their confidence once more. They don't for a moment even need her back. They simply believe she should see them positively back, so they don't feel those gloomy feelings any longer. At the point when someone loses regard for you, you need to keep up with your respect, since what will happen is unavoidable. In each circumstance, regardless of how great you think this young lady is, regardless of how right you think this young lady is, another young lady goes along who's far and way superior. It happens without fail. You need to be intellectually prepared for that. Assuming you let a lady beat you down with dealing with you like rubbish, it's such an absence of regard that it gets imbued in you. It makes it truly difficult to go out there and get ready to rock and roll with different ladies when you have that negative mental self-view that she's sort of making. A ton of the time, it's not generally the young lady's issue. The best thing to do when you sense slight by someone is to lay down the law and have individual limits. When someone sees that they can pull off things, it's remarkably difficult for them to then regard you. You must have limits. You need to tell her you will leave. A ton of times what happens is men will come to me looking for help since things were going all around well with this young lady. She was talking of a vacation and everything was perfect. Then another dude popped in the image. Some of the time it's an ex or a person with greater closeness to her. He works with her. He's in her social scene and you're not, so he enjoys the benefit. It's truly difficult to rival that. In the event that you met a young lady on Tinder and you all are in totally unique social scenes and this person's in her social scene, the main thing you need to work with is text. It's truly difficult to contend. When you sense that a young lady is with another person, the time has come to leave. If you decide to return, it ends with that other fellow, and she simply recollects that you'll get the text from her checking if you are near. Whether you return with her is your choice. The justification for why I exhort leaving when there is another dude in the image is on the grounds that I show something many refer to as the scrambler. It works truly successful because it gets a lady contemplating you all the time to where she starts to persuade herself she's enamored with you. The issue is if there's one more person in the image and she's contemplating him constantly, it's truly difficult for her to ponder two people immediately. She can truly become fixated on one person immediately. So assuming she has one more person in her life that she's fixated on, there's very little you can do. You recently become irritating to her since she's contemplating this other person sitting tight for him to message. We've all been there when we truly like one young lady, and the young lady we could do without is messaging us. We nearly dislike her more since she's not the individual we truly care about. Go on Tinder, get a few different dates, clear your psyche of her for a smidgen, have fun. It's actually an extraordinary chance to be a solitary at the present time. It's never been simpler to meet ladies. You have every one of these dating applications. You have meetups. Regardless of what you're keen on right now, you can go get ladies inspired by it. If you're keen on rock moving, there's young ladies who love that. If you're keen on business, there's an organizing group. Try not to keep close by and be some pup pursuing a young lady who's as of now with someone. The next sign that now is the right time to leave is the point at which you are turning down choices. This moment is the least demanding opportunity on the planet for folks to meet ladies. It is the most straightforward opportunity to meet ladies, yet it's one of the hardest times to keep a lady's advantage, since she is likewise living in the least demanding time for a young lady to meet a person. It goes the two different ways. You have such countless choices that holding someone's attention is exceptionally hard. That is the reason we generally show things like the scrambler, which makes her contemplate you constantly. That is truly the thing you want. If she's not pondering you constantly, she's logically going to be available to swiping right or swiping left on different folks. You need to ensure that you make her ponder you. Suppose that is not the situation. Suppose she's as of now leaving, and it's not working out with her. You got this multitude of different young ladies in your day-to-day existence, and you're simply not placing your everything into them. It's likely a sign to continue on from the other young lady, since what happens is a ton of folks begin concentrating on dating guidance. They glean some significant knowledge of stuff about fascination and being a tease and getting a lady into you. They squander it on a young lady who's now continued on. At the point when you meet another young lady, it's truly simple to make the best choice to get her truly into you since you know what to do. You previously committed those errors on different ladies. All in all, for what reason would you say you are turning down different choices? All you should do is date different ladies, since there's very little you can do to get back in the saddle to you. The main way out is proceeding to date another person. Assuming she understands that you are continuing on and different ladies are into you, that is the best way to make young ladies figure they shouldn't have left you. Leave if you feel that she is over and again insolent to you. Project individual limits and leave. If you find out there's another man in the image, leave. Assuming you have different choices that you were turning down as a result of her, walk nearer to them. Try not to simply watch this video and gesture your head. Assuming that now is the ideal time to leave, leave. In the event that you like this video, hit like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.